Hey, good morning, y'all. It is Nancy from Nancy Chu Homes at Keller Williams NJ Metro Group. I'm hearing these phrases a lot used interchangeably regarding real estate right now, and that is the phrase overpriced versus the phrase overvalued. Okay, let's talk about what overpriced means. Overpriced means if I go to the grocery store and I find, say a loaf of bread, and that loaf of bread is being sold for $1.99, right? And then I go over to Whole Foods and I see the same exact loaf of bread being sold for $4.99. Same company, same brand. Then yeah, I think the $4.99 bread is overpriced. I'm going to purchase the $1.99 loaf of bread because it's pricing for the same product, right? Okay, so we're hearing that phrase a lot regarding homes, especially in our market area here in northern New Jersey, and it's often used interchangeably with the word overvalued. And I want to talk about what overvalued means. Okay, overvalued basically means that, so if we talk about it in relationship to homes, we're talking about home prices being higher than what, say, the local market area salary can afford. Okay, so in other words, the house is being priced higher than what can be supported by local incomes. And we are definitely seeing that partially here in Jersey. We are seeing that kind of market. Okay, simple economics basically lays down the fact that, incomes versus home prices, they kind of have to go hand in hand. You can't outpace one versus the other over a period of time. It's going to be a problem. Okay, so in other words, you need to see a corresponding jump in wages. And so that's why I think a lot of people in the economists are very nervous. All right, the pandemic housing boom, which is what we keep calling it. We keep calling it the pandemic housing boom. Although you and I both know there's other issues that are causing this particular housing growth, right? We've really seen home prices go up in America by about 20%, and we've only seen wages go up by about 5%. So this is kind of a challenge, right? So we're looking at the fact that any typical American family right now is probably spending close to 30% of their income towards housing. That's definitely a little higher than we'd like to see. And at the beginning of 2000, people were probably paying closer to 20%. So we're seeing an increase there. So let's look at this housing affordability situation. All right. I would tell you that about 65% of housing markets right now would be considered overvalued. That's not me guessing. That's like CoreLogic basically telling us that, right? Now, that means that 65% of housing markets right now, the home prices are above what the local average incomes can support. Okay, so now that also means that there are definitely markets in this country where that's not the issue, where it's kind of, right on par, or that, the housing might even be undervalued in the sense that, the local incomes definitely can support that pricing. As a matter of fact, the housing pricing would be considered, well within the reach of local incomes. So even though we're seeing these type of markets, no one is predicting any sort of true correction. No one's thinking that it's a bubble that's going to burst. Okay? Don't forget, a housing bubble, which we, have seen before, and I understand that, this particular surge in pricing has made everybody uncomfortable. And a housing bubble requires speculative growth, right? And we're not seeing that. We are seeing people purchasing their homes with an extraordinary amount of cash, right? They have equity in their homes from the get-go. We're seeing people put down 20%, 50%, and those are the ones that don't have outright cash. I mean, I cannot tell you the number of people who are purchasing here just with cash. I feel like a quarter of the business we're doing is all cash right now. So I'm less concerned about an actual housing bubble because we're not really seeing the kind of loans we were seeing before, where people were basically getting loans of 100%, 100% value loans. I mean, they were loans based on a promise of, sugarcane and lollipops. It's craziness. But that's not what we're seeing now. We're seeing people who are cash all in. So what does this all mean? Yeah, okay, so do I think that some of the very hot markets that may have what we call the overvalued homes right now, perhaps we see a little bit of cooling down in those areas, the ones that are mostly overvalued? Maybe we'll see a slight drop in the home values there, the home prices there by 5-10%. But considering how much growth we've made, it's still going to be a very hot market regardless. So no, we're not looking at, in my opinion, a national correction, all right? But perhaps localized mini corrections in places where the overvaluing is just too much, right? And can't be supported over time. Now, new listings at the same time have been really hard to come by, okay? So houses are still selling very quickly. This imbalance of the number of people looking to buy versus the number of people who have homes to sell, this imbalance is why we've had this kind of appreciation, especially over the last 12 months, and honestly, we're still going to see higher prices and we're still going to see house price growth, even if it moderates itself a little bit. You guys, I'm going to leave you with this thought, and that is that the U.S. Census says that we're going to grow in this country by 1.8 million people a year, all the way through 2060. That's like 40 more years where we're going to add 1.8 million a year. I'm sorry, do we have houses for all of them? Anybody? Anybody built? Draw your own conclusions. Oh, guys, sorry, I don't mean to sound like a negative Nelly. It's just, it's a big challenge that we're about to hit in our country. And I feel like, are we addressing it? The lack of housing? It's big. It's going to be a big challenge. Okay, so just to end my conversation with you guys, if you are potentially interested in coming to the Nancy Chu Homes Movie Night and Ice Cream Social Under the Stars, that is our upcoming client appreciation event that is happening on June 10th. Okay, so reach out to me if you would like an invitation to that. Here's my email address, nancy@nancychuhomes.com. Very high tech. Or I guess if you're looking to buy, sell, or have a career in real estate, you can also email me here, okay? nancychuhomes.com. All right, I'll talk to you guys next week.